Hello and welcome to the I Can Do podcast with Benjamin Lee. We're here to talk about tips and strategies to have an I Can Do mindset. Life is what you put into it. Get the most you can. Here's your host, Benjamin Lee.
Hello and welcome to another episode. I am Benjamin Lee. This is the I Can Do podcast, season number 2, episode number 3. We are moving forward with book recommendations. In this episode, I want to recommend to you the book called The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John Maxwell. So you kind of get a lay of the land of what's in the book. You're going to be given 15 different laws of growth, invaluable laws of growth. So if you are not familiar with John Maxwell has written a number of books. It is unbelievable just how many books he has written. And I'm kind of going through this book at this very moment here. A friend of mine shared this book with me last year. Thank you, Ryan, very much for sharing this book with me. We started a book club, 3 people total in the book club. We would meet via Zoom, typically at 6 a.m. once a week. We wanted to make it a little bit harder for people to be a part of it, right? If you're not an early riser, you would not be a part of this book club. So what we did, we read the book, a chapter per week. We talked about the book. We talked about insights. John Maxwell, he has done so much. He has so many things out there. You can just Google him and you'll see just how productive he is. He really puts a lot of emphasis on leadership. One of my mentors in the faith, Brother Max, he would always say, and I still remember it and I use it today, everything rises and falls on leadership. Everything rises and falls with leadership. Well, that's from John Maxwell. So we began to read this book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And obviously, I don't have time to give you everything, but I want to recommend it for a couple of reasons. Number one, it just really makes you think. It makes you think about, all right, am I growing? Everyone wants to grow. You know, we live in this age of productivity. We live in this age of getting all these followers and shares and likes, climbing up the corporate ladder, finding that perfect job right when we get done with college, as if we're really going to find that. One of the biggest things, or one of the most important things to invest in is yourself. There's a great quote in here. I can't remember who it was from, but you think about job security. One of the best ways to make sure that you always have a job is to make sure that you continue to grow. Make sure that you continue to invest in yourself. Chapter 3 continues to stand out to me. It's called the Law of the Mirror. And in this chapter, he says this: you must see value in yourself to add value to yourself. You must see value in yourself to add value to yourself. There's a quote here by Dennis Waitley. Personal development is the belief that you are worth the effort, time, and energy needed to develop yourself. I love that. Personal development is the belief that you are worth the effort, time, and energy needed to develop yourself. So the law of the mirror really forces you to consider yourself. And you can hear some of the pages. I'm turning the pages here. And there's something I want to read to you here where he talks about this idea of steps to build your self-image. And number 1, he said, guard your self-talk. Let me just read this. He says, whether you know it or not, you have a running conversation with yourself all the time. What is the nature of yours? Do you encourage yourself or do you criticize yourself? If you're positive, then you help to create a positive self-image. If you're negative, you undermine your self-worth. Where does negative, critical self-talk come from? Usually from our upbringing. In their book, The Answer, businessmen, authors John Assaraf and Murray Smith talk about the negative messages children receive growing up. They write, and this was fascinating, by the time you're 17 years old, you have heard, "No, you can't," an average of 150,000 times. You have heard, "Yes, you can," about 5,000 times. That's 30 no's for every yes. That makes for a powerful belief of I can't. Chapter 3, The Law of the Mirror, stood out to me, and I recommend it to you because it forced me to do this exercise. So one of the things that I finally have started doing with books that I'm reading, I'm actually doing some of the exercises in them. There are plenty of times where I get a book, I read a book, and then I put it on the shelf. And some of it sticks, but I really took the time to do these exercises. And on page 49, and it may vary depending on what copy you get or edition, at the end of chapter 3, it says, applying the law of the mirror to your life. Question number 1 or exercise number 1 is this. Make a list of all of your best personal qualities. If you have positive self-esteem, then this will probably be easy for you. If you don't, it may be a struggle. Don't give up. If needed, spend days or weeks creating the list. Now listen to this. Don't stop until you have written 100 positive things about yourself. Woo! Wow. If it took you a long time to create this list, and I did this, then you need to spend every day reading through it to remind yourself of your value. Remember, if you don't value yourself, you will have a very difficult time adding value to yourself. Using the list as a springboard, decide on the one word that best describes you. Make this word your North Star as you begin adding value to yourself. That's just some of the great stuff that's in this book. Some exercises that will certainly challenge you and force you to really think and to look in. This law of the mirror is one of the 15 invaluable laws of growth. I recommend you check this book out. Let me know what you think. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. If you are in the need or looking for more motivation in your life, feel free to check out my website, benjaminlee.blog, where you can find hundreds of encouraging, motivational blog posts on a variety of subjects. You can find all of my books, which can also be found on Amazon.com, and other podcast interviews with a variety of people. I hope this helps. Please leave me a rating and a review. I can do, and so can you. Take care, and God bless.